right, welcome to the live stream. Another planner review going live for you today. I'm really excited to see how things are going for all of you out there in this holiday season. If you're watching this live, thanks so much for taking the time to join me. I'm really excited to share with you another planner review, which, by the way, in the last video, I shared with you a reveal of Matthew McConaughey's Greenlights journal, which, if you really want to keep track on my progress on this thing, the last time I put something in this thing was during that live stream. This is a deeper journaling process. Go back and watch that video if you're interested in learning more about it. And hopefully if you've ordered it, you've received it by now, because it's a good way to kick off 2022 if that's how you run your years. I start my year in September, so I'm kind of already through the first, third of my year, September, October, November, December. Yeah, we're coming up to the end of the first third of my calendar year. But today, I want to showcase this fine journaling paper journal piece of equipment. And again, I'm only judging it by the packaging that it came in initially. I have not really gone through this. It comes with this little card here. It's called the 1% Planner by the Just One Club. And I know it might be hard to see some of the embossment here. It says becoming 1% better. It offers OKRs, weekly plan and review, daily journal, gratitude, habits, routines, affirmations, and big goals. That's what we get with the 1% Planner. So keep in mind that I have, let's lower this volume here. There we go. That might be a little bit better. Allow you to hear me a bit more. That theme, that music, by the way, provided by Brain.fm. Speaking of brain, I have a bit of brain fog to kick off today. It's only 10 o'clock here, but I generally don't get going until around this time, so I'm waiting for my coffee to arrive. My coffee wasn't quite finished yet, so it'll be here shortly. In the meantime, by the way, I have one of these to give away, too. So one lucky person is going to win one of these planners. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're a subscriber. Like this video and leave a comment. If you're watching this live, I'll be checking comments out there as well. If you're live, there's a really good chance you're going to have a chance to win it, because you get the opportunity to both comment but also interact with me in the chat. I'm keeping track of that as well. All right, well, let's get to it. Let's take a look at some of what this plan has to offer. So it comes with this little card here. And on the back of this card, you can get review. You can leave a review. You can just scan this QR code. It's pretty. It's just something simple, but the paper quality is good. You know, I'm kind of a fan of that kind of stuff. Now, the way that they've done this is again OKRs, which Again, brain fog. I cannot remember right now offhand what OKRs stand for, but they are like metrics that you can use, which I've not really seen in a planner too much before. Weekly plan and review, daily journal, gratitude, habits. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I've got my Baron Fig pen and my Retro 51 fountain pen, because we're going to do some paper testing as well. But when you open it, you've got this little, I'll take that off. I do like the cover, but it does retain, this one in particular does have some dust on it. I gave one to my daughter, and she's actually using it and rather enjoying it. So when you open it up, it's a commitment right out of the gate that you make. So you say, I commit to becoming 1% better every day. You see your name, your contact, and then the quarter or the year. So what I like about this is it's not dated, so you can, if you fall behind with it, you can kind of spread this out a bit. So the instructions on how to use it are right here. You start by planning your quarter, writing down your objectives and key results in the quarterly OKR. So the objectives and key results, thank you. See, if I had opened this planner first, I would have been able to tell you that that's what they were. You write down habits needed for achieving your quarterly OKRs on the habit tracker. We'll get to that. You write down your morning and evening rituals, and I'm a big fan of those on the ritual card, which I know is in here somewhere. You plan your week ahead using the weekly plan, record and reflect daily pages. End of the week, allocate 30 minutes to review your past week with the weekly review. You know, I'm not a fan of the weekly review. I'm a big fan of journaling instead, but the daily pages might take care of that. Plan the next weekly plan and then update your quarterly OKRs. At the end of the quarter, complete the OKRs and evaluate the results. Tips: find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted by others. A good pen can make your writing session more enjoyable. Find your favorite one. I've got 2 of them right here. And then they've got more tips and tricks. They've got a table of contents here, which is quite nice as well. But again, this is only for 1 quarter. You can see 13 weeks in total. So that's really, you're going to do about 4 of these, okay? Maybe have 4 of these every single year if you're going to use it year in and year out. So here are the quarterly OKRs. What's your objective and then the key results you're looking for each objective. And then when you finally get done, there's a score here. This is something that you may want to use. I'm not a huge... My coffee's arrived. My coffee is here. Take a bit of a break for a second. I managed to finish the coffee brew before we jumped on, so this is good. This is from Fresh Cup Roastery here in Victoria. This is a good Guatemalan coffee. I was watching Peter McKinnon's year-end video, and it got me inspired to share a bit more coffee stuff with you. GT saying I could use a new planner for 2022, something that will not just organize my week, but help focus it too. And yeah, Leon, I think the thing about these planners, the shorter planners, is the idea that, and we've seen more of them year over year, not so much I miss the days of the day planner, the day runners, where you could add them to it. And I know you can get some like that, but they don't quite have the style, I guess. I think they feel very 80s and 90s. I remember one of the first planners I ever had was like a day runner, and you could insert sheets to it. And it was great, but it was big, it was bulky, and it had that like faux leather kind of vinyl feel to it. The journals that I'm seeing that are more divided up into, you have to order them every 90 days or what have you. The Monk Manual is one of those, right? Same thing with the Full Focus Planner. There's several of them where you can't just get by with one. I think that has to do with the build. But yeah, it's the price. And that's something that we're going to look up here as we get close to wrapping up, because I cannot remember the price. I've got my iPad here, so I'll be sure to check that out as we make our way through. But let's get back to the planner now that I've had my sip of coffee. All right, so here we go. All right, so as we go through here, you'll see, again, those OKRs. And there are, by the way, just so you can... Once we get to the middle, you're going to see all this stuff. I'll show you that in a second, because I did notice this when my daughter opened hers up. So OKRs, there's only 3 quarterly objectives to this point, and then you make notes as you go, right? So this is something I haven't really seen in a planner before, at least not too many of them. So this, if you're looking for something to measure your quarterly OKRs and quarterly results, this might be the one for you. The Baron Fig Do Work Planner does this as well. But it's using a specific, there's a framework that they've put in that one, which I think is fine. This one does not do that. So it allows you to kind of figure out how this stuff, like if you're working on 6-week cycles, you could very easily replace that with, like, if you're using the shaping up system, you could very easily use it something like this. And then you've got cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, and you could do it that way, right? So that could actually lengthen the amount of time that you're working on it. Or you could say this is cycle 1 to this point. So if you're doing 6 weeks, then you divide it up and say if week 7 is your week off, and then you can do another 6. So you can actually get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 work cycles out of this. I could actually use this for my entire year with my company because we're only using 6 cycles. Thanks to hat tip to Justin Jackson for that on one of his videos. I'll see if I can link to it in the comments or in the description where he walks through how his company is using that kind of idea. Quarterly plan, here we go. What are you going to do to make your life better? So there's some stuff here that requires some thoughtfulness. So there is some framing here that people may or may not enjoy. The quarterly review, again, nice prompts here. The paper is very thin. You can see right through to the next one. So when I start writing in it, that's something that you might notice. There are lines, so don't make note that there are dotted lines, but the paper you could even see it's thin. Weekly plan, what will make this week great. Then there's the weekly review, okay? And, of course, they divide it into 6 areas: body and mind, personal growth, work and career, fun and enjoyment, family and friends, business, romantic relations, top 5 focuses. I wish there was a 6th one there. But the same thing happens in the quarterly. You can see there's the 6 things that get transferred to here, and then the top 5 focuses, which would mean the things you want to get done this week. And, again, this would be related to whichever this is the week, but you can fill in the week. Checklist, these are things you need to do regularly, and then highlights of the week, things you're proud of, things you found challenging. And then the daily. So morning thoughts, so kind of like morning pages. There's a wake up and a sleep time here, morning ritual and the evening ritual, whether you followed that. 3 key focuses, today's learnings, 3 things I'm grateful for today. But notice how they're only giving you 3 key focuses for the day, and then you've got some notes. There's a little thing, smile to the first person you see, so there's some little prompts and quotes and stuff in here as well. All right, so this is how this goes every single way, all the way through. I think there is the weekly review obviously is back at the beginning, so you would go back, do the next weekly review, and so on. Let's step back for a second, and you can see these ribbons that are here. There's 3 of them, not uncommon. So one would probably be where your OKRs are, probably would be where your week is, and one would probably be where your day is. And I think you can decide which way you want to do it. All right, let's jump back to the main screen here for a second, and I can chat with you a little bit. So I don't know what writing on this thing is going to be like yet. I do like the idea of all these things inside of one. I have a feeling that it is not going to be, I'm just going to look up the price again real quick. I have a feeling it's not going to be as expensive as some other journals that are there, that are available in the market right now that have all that stuff. But let's see, the 1% planner is $29.99 US. So for a year, you would be spending $120. All right. Shipping is calculated at checkout, so you have to pay for shipping on top of that. If you buy 3 right now, if you're watching this live, you buy 3, you get 1 free. Just add 4 planners to your cart, and you'll pay for only 3 of them. I'm not an affiliate for 1% Planner. I'm not getting any kind of money for this. They just sent me some planners to take a look at, and that's why I'm doing this. They come in 3 colors. They come in the blue, which you can see right here. That's one of them. They also come in the maroon, which you can see right here. And they come shrink-wrapped in a box. So, there's no real grand opening experience like you get with some planners. And they also come in gray, which is the one that my daughter's using. And she actually thought it was quite cute. She liked the way things were put together. She's only started to use it really. But let's take a look at some of the other stuff inside of it first, okay? So there's my affirmations area, and there's 3 cards for this, but I only found 1 so far. Maybe the other ones have fallen out. Let me take a look. Because there's only 1 that I found so far. They might be in different places. Oh, you know what? I bet you they're in... here we go. There's some stuff in the back, too. There's your habit tracker. Yeah, so they're all normally in the back. And, there's some stickers. So you get some stickers, too. Okay, so there's some stickers right there. The 3 affirmation cards and the habit trackers. All right, so let's take a look at those. And I think, let me be clear, I think the reason the other ones were in the middle of the journal is because that way you didn't forget they were there. But they're in the back pocket, and there is a back pocket in this journal. So my affirmation would be where you would write down, your self-affirmations to keep you motivated. Let's see if we can get this to focus. Might be tricky because it's so far away. There we go. So it's just this, and there's a dated area right here. Let's get this thing to... I don't think I have it on autofocus, so it'll have to be back here. If we go back to this one, we could probably see it a little bit clearer. Let's move these out of the way. Oh, we're out of focus there now, too. All right. The joys of focusing. And there we go. A little bit more focus now. So if we drop those My Affirmation cards down and we zoom in a bit, there you go. And you just write down the date or what have you. And then the habit tracker, which we'll have to rejig it a little bit here. We'll zoom out a little. And there's the habit tracker. It offers 6 things in the morning to do, 6 things in the evening to do, which I like. And then over a 31-day period, so per month, and that's what you put there. If you finish it, you put an X through it. If you do it partially, you just put a line through it. If you skipped it, you put a minus, and if you didn't do it at all, you just leave it blank. And to me, that's pretty simple. So 6 things to do in the morning over a month, and you get 3 of them. That's perfect for a quarter. So that's how that all works. So again, for $30, you're going to get a journal that will last you for 3 months if you use it every day. You'll get habit trackers and affirmation cards that will last you. The affirmation cards will actually last you longer because you can put whatever dates you want on it, and you can keep them, store them, whatever you want to do. The habit trackers can last you, again, up to... They could last you longer if you wanted. I mean, if you only did 3 things in the morning and 3 things in the evening, you could double it just by using different pen colors and things like that. So you can stretch all this stuff out if you want. You don't have to use every single week. You could double it up, whatever. But I think the practice behind using the same planner is always a wise move. So the biggest crux I think you're going to have to figure out here is, okay, number one, if I'm going to use it consistently, that's $120 a year, US plus shipping. To me, if you're not using another planner and you want to use paper planners and you don't want to spend the time adding all that stuff in, a la bullet journal, could be worth it to you. But the big test is going to be like, what does it feel like when you're writing with your favorite pen, which they ask you to do? Let's check. All right. So I am just going to, now this pen is very different. This piece of, so this paper on the front, it's a thicker piece. So this is not a good place for me to test that, right? But let's go, and I'm not going to do the quarterly OKRs. Let's pick today. So today is a Wednesday. So I'm going to flick to this Wednesday, and I'm just going to start to write in here a little bit. Let's bring up some music while I do this. Oh, I got to zoom out a bit. There you go. So I'm going to take a moment here. Maybe you need to do this already as well. Or not already. Maybe you just need to do it. Is planning your day. So I'm going to sit down here for the next few minutes. I'll put some music up in the backdrop. And you can watch me use this to plan the remainder of Wednesday here. I have my own planning tools. I use digital planners as well, but there's just something with getting things in front of you on paper that's really helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes here, and you can join me. If you have a pen and paper handy, great. Index card, doesn't matter. And just kind of follow me along here if you want. Doing any elements of this planner, the 1% planner, should you see fit. All right, so let's do it. Okay. So there's not a lot that you would do from on this page to start off your day. As you can see here, really is just a matter of transferring over the day, morning thoughts, which there's not a lot of room for those, but I mean, I don't really do that anyway. So, and then the 3 key focuses, and on this planner, what I would do is because I get a bit more granular inside of my my digital apps, as well as some of my paper planning tools like the Daily Driver and stuff. Is I would probably just say for 3 key focuses, it would be a larger, broader scope. I'm not a big fan of using tools like phrases like "work on" podcast show notes because that indicates there's a lot of steps to it. But it didn't ask me what's my 3 tasks. It said what are my 3 focuses, and because my daily theme for me is media. You could see all 3 of those are related to media to a degree. Spending time in ThriveCart. We just signed up for ThriveCart to kind of unify all of our purchases. So that would be something that doesn't fall into that category, but I do want to get working on it. So I think in that case, bringing that to my attention was probably a good idea as well. But I think the key for this is you're going to pull things from, not from the day, and I'm not going to, but you're going to pull things from your weekly plan, right? So it's interesting. I almost think that this planner, if you're going to use it, now that I'm looking at it a bit more, is all of this is professional stuff. I think this is probably better for personal use. Now, let's do the real test here in a second. So yeah, that to me is, I think, if you, and leave it in the comments, let me know what you think in the comments. I think that this planner overall is designed, and I think that that's perfectly fine, is for someone who, like my daughter's going to, I think, love it because it's like one category is work and career, right? And right now I'm doing a YouTube video live, so clearly I'm working on career stuff. This, I think that if I was going to use the 1% planner, which I'm not saying I won't, I have the Monk Manual already, which I really love, and I am an affiliate for the Monk Manual. I just love the way it's put together. There's a thoughtfulness to it it is more expensive than this. But I think if you are looking for a planner that it will help you focus on getting 1% better in personal, so have a bit more balance, I think, because I think a lot of people lean towards the work, and I tend to use more digital tools, and my Daily Driver and all that stuff tends to center mostly around work stuff. But this, by having a separate place, a place that draws my attention to my personal stuff, I think that could be really beneficial. It might be beneficial for you too. Now, here's the real test. What does it work through when you're looking at the fountain pen ink, which is the green ink, and then the black ink, which is the Baron Fig pen? It's not bad, but it's there. Like, you can see it. You can definitely see it. The good news is it's on the notes side. So I would be really curious with the weekly review. By the time you get to it, there's going to be so that's something to keep in mind. If you're a bit of a paper nerd, you may not dig that. In terms of what Lean's saying, which is in the chat, which is getting 1% better, I think that leans heavily on these OKRs. I really do. I think the OKRs are what brings that 1% better to, but again, I think that the OKRs are probably, if you're going to use this, at least this is my own personal opinion, if you're going to use this, that the OKRs you're going to be using are bringing them into your personal life. I don't know how many people sit down and go, what are my objectives and key results for, my personal life. I don't know how many people. I don't do that. I don't know how many people are doing that. And OKRs have been around for quite a while. John Doerr published a book called Measure What Matters. I was trying to remember that book title. And that came out in 2017. But if you think about OKRs, I tend to think about them around work and that sort of thing. So I think that through daily reflections and things like that, you will get better. Journaling for sure helps me get better. You even see on the sheet that I wrote for today, which I think is funny, now that came up in the comments, that I need to get back to meditating, right? So that by doing that, I know I've been getting better just mindfully by meditating. And by the way, the Bear and Fig pen seems to be, they're both equally, there's some bleed, and it's not real bleed, but it's there. You can see it. So yeah, I think it fulfills its objectives, but I don't know if it's a planner for me. Unless I was going to have two different planners going. I think if for somebody who wants to have that separation, which I think is absolutely valid. I mean, I have two separate task managers for personal and professional use that are digital. I use Todoist for personal and ClickUp for professional. I think the same can happen with a paper planner as well. So you could use, I mean, think about it this way. I've already mentioned that, that the other planner that I talked about last time, the Greenlight's journal, is a journal. It's not a planner, right? So for me, that's something that could exist completely separate. And then you've got the 1% planner right here, which I think could be great for personal stuff, right? Maybe not so much for professional. But I think that for some people, they're going to want one planner that has everything in it, right? All in one solution. If that's the case, I don't know that this planner is for you. If you want a planner that you could say, hey, you know what, this planner where I want to focus more on my personal life, maybe you're retired, maybe you're a student that really wants to make sure that things like that, this I think could fit the bill. But if you're diving deep into career stuff, it might be tricky. That's what I'm saying. And GT makes a really good point. With only a few projects going, you could use the OKRs, right? You don't want a big, bulky planner. This could be, if you look at the thickness of it, right? I'll just grab it real quick here. It's not that thick, and it's small. I think the thing is it depends on whether you're concerned about having things bleed through, seeing ink on the other side, which, you're going to see imprints of ink. That could be a concern. But I think that there's value in this planner. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been so readily willing to look at it. We didn't even get to the notes pages in the back, but I don't think that's terribly necessary. Melinda brings up a really an interesting point. She says, paper planners are my zen. Paper offers a great way to rest my eyes from screens and makes for excellent portability and accessibility. Yeah. I don't know that we need digital task apps for personal use in a lot of ways anyway. Some people like to just use reminders on their phone or through their Amazon devices or whatever. And then, then they just use this paper planner or the analog cards that Jeff from Ugmonk puts out or things like that. I don't know that needs to be something that necessarily needs to be done digitally 100%. I do appreciate the stepping back and getting better connected with the things I really need and want to do by just looking at them on paper. So you'll see me often take my tasks out of Todoist, out of ClickUp, and bring them into the paper world. It's almost like bringing them into the real world so I can give them focus, right? So this planner achieves that. So I think it's a decent entry into the marketplace. I think that the fact that it's got OKRs that you could use is something that's rather unique for paper planners. I haven't seen it on a ton of them. I think that the price point is solid. I think the fact that it's not dated allows you to spread it out if you want. The lack of guilt or, quote, shame that you feel if you miss a day isn't as prevalent with this planner as one that's dated, right? It's portable. It offers places for reflection, but it not too much. I feel like it's got that just right factor. I think it offers a solid, it's a solid entry. Will I use it regularly? Probably not, because I have the Monk manual, which I like. The Monk manual is bigger. It is thicker. I could quickly grab it here in a second to show you just by comparison. As we take a look at this, let me get up here to grab a couple other options that might fit the bill. All right, so here is the Monk manual, right? And here's the thickness of it, right? And here's the thickness of the 1% planner. Side by side, right? Okay, so that's the month manual. And then if we take a look at the Do Work Journal, which is the journal from Bear and Fig, which I'll open real quick, it is also offering very similar options quarterly. It's right here. It's also thick, right? So you've got these other journals that kind of fit into the same mold. You know, the Full Focus Planner also kind of fits into that category. And if you're putting them all in front of you, like there they are, right? So same, almost exactly the same size profile. The Do Journal, here we go. That's a bit better. The Do Work is a bit smaller in profile, but thicker. The Monk Manual is definitely thicker, but a lot of that, I mean, I just love the elegance of it too, right? The paper is soft. So Lena, like the paper it was very smooth to write on. So that was really a big bonus, especially with both fountain pen and the rollerball that Bear and Fig is. So yes, definitely. And I mean, I didn't really test these cards, but they're index cards. Like they're index. The weight of that paper is very. I mean, you're going to be fine with this. And also, you've got room on the back, so you could do stuff on the back with it if you wanted to. Oh. So yeah, I mean, it does come with these, which is kind of nice as well. I think that it's a solid entry. I'll put a link to purchasing it in the description as well as in the comments. The 1% planner, it's a solid planner. I would, again, it's not going to be for everybody. I already have the Monk Manual that I use and I really like. I admittedly did not like the Do Work Journal as much, and that's probably because there was a lot of framing around it, I think. I think there was more framing. Let's put it that way. I felt there was. And again, I didn't spend a ton of time with it, but the day overview, like, I love the look of it, but that's not for this video. Maybe I'll do a video on that in the future, because I purchased this guy too. But if you want one of these, I've got the maroon one. Just leave a like this video, leave a comment saying why you love paper planners. Melinda's already done that, but do it again. Put it in the comments and make sure you subscribe. And I will choose a winner by the end of the day on December 31st, 2021. So at the end of 2021, and then I'll notify you. It's also got the elastic's strong on this too, so that's quite good. That's it. I think that's it for this video. We don't really need to go into too much. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch it. I really appreciate it, whether you join me live, whether you are watching it after the fact. Hopefully this helped you make a decision around paper planners. And if you also want to let me know what paper planners you like and would like me to look at and get my thoughts on, let me know in the comments. What I like about doing these is that I kind of go through them with you. That's why it's a live stream. I've not really looked at it. I get it sent to me, and I'm like, oh, let's go through this live. It's kind of like an unboxing video done live. I really like that because there's a lot of organic thought around it. And it's kind of like what you would feel like when you were opening a planner of the sort. You have a sense of what it is. You can read up about it, but not until you open it and get into it do you really know whether it's something that you want to use, would like. And luckily, I get a bunch of stuff sent to me that allows me to do this. So that's one of the things I'm going to do more on this YouTube channel in the future. So let me know what planners you like. Let me know in the comments how you like, whether you like to use paper planners, what other videos you'd like me to make. I'm all ears, okay? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for taking the time. Have a great rest of the holiday season if you're watching this during the time that this went live, and I'll see you later.